Hello, everyone. My name is Joe from Get a Life Podcast, as you know me very well, and I'm here with a friend Bish,
Hey guys, what's up?
my good friend Jakob, and today we are doing our very first Danganronpa episode as part of Get a Life Podcast Danganronpa series, which will be happening over the next few months for those of you who are interested. And for people who don't know, Danganronpa, or as translated, Bullet Retribution, is an adventure visual novel developed and published by Spike, or as you know now, Spike Chunsoft. And they have made a bunch of games in the series. They've made 3 mainline games for the PSP, well, 2 games for the PSP, Danganronpa and Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, and they later remade it as Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc and Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, the same name. And then the third game they released was Danganronpa Another Episode of the Spare Girls, which was just made for Vita. It released not too long ago, released in 2014, I believe. And since then, they've made another entry in the series that was exclusively in the form of an anime. Danganronpa 3 The End of Hope's Peak Academy, with both a Despair arc and a Future arc, as well as a Hope arc for the end for people who are very interested in how that show concludes. And soon, very soon, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony, which I am very excited about. But for now, just today, we're going to be recording Danganronpa and Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. Oh wait, let me redo that part. And today, but for now we're going to be recording, we're going to be discussing Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc and Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair.
For you new folks, Get Life Podcast is a monthly gaming discussion podcast under the Get Life group. We talk about all sorts of games from big AAA titles all the way to awesome indie games. But our forte is Japanese games, so expect that a lot, much like Danganronpa. We can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, now also on TuneIn Radio and Deezer. You can go and check us out there. If that's too much for you guys to remember, you can also check us out at our website, www.getalifepodcast.com/GALP. That will show you all of our links to our podcasts, and you can interact with us there as well. Big shout out and big thanks to our sponsors. First one being Loot Crate. So you can check them out. Loot Crate is a monthly subscription service where they send you awesome gaming and anime and comic related stuff every month for around $30. T-shirts, manga, etc. So be sure to check them out. Go to lootcrate.com/getalife, which is all one word, and use the code GETALIFE for 10% off new subscriptions. So that could be anything. Could be Loot Anime, Loot DX, Loot Gaming, Loot Pets, whatever. Our second sponsor is the one, the only, Crunchyroll. We love using Crunchyroll a lot. We use them on Kunai. That's pretty much why, Kunai's still alive, because of Crunchyroll. So big thanks to them. You can watch a bunch of awesome anime, over 2,000 anime titles on Crunchyroll right now when you use our link, www.crunchyroll.com/kunai. You get 14 days free Crunchyroll. So we're also giving away, I just want to mention this before we kind of move on, we're also giving away 3 months Crunchyroll Premium Plus codes thanks to Nate Ming, big shout out. So he's helping us give us those codes so we can give those away to you guys. All you need to win is sign up, crunchyroll.com/kunai, and friend us on Crunchyroll. That's all you need to do. And if you already have a Crunchyroll account, friend us on Crunchyroll. We'll put all the links in the description of this episode. Also, I want to, before we move on to the main topic of the discussion, I want to thank the people at NIS America, specifically NIS Europe, Jazz and Melissa, because they've helped us out a lot with this episode, with providing us the games and just generally giving us their support. So big shout out and big thanks to you guys.
And right for now, we're just going to talk about Danganronpa and what it is exactly. Danganronpa's premise involves a bunch of students being trapped, depending on the game you're playing, in a school or a tropical island. In Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, you were trapped in a school, which was known as the Killing School Life. While in Danganronpa 2, you were trapped on an island called Jabberwock Island, which was known as the Killing School Trip. And both of these both Killing School Life and the Killing School Trip involved a killing game of sorts where students would have to murder each other in order to escape the island. What would happen is that a student would have to kill another student, and they'd have to go through a class trial without getting caught. And if they were not caught, then they would be able to escape the island while every other student was executed. But if they were caught, then they themselves would be executed, and everyone else would continue either the Killing School Trip or the Killing School Life. Again, it depends on the type of game you're playing. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, how did you guys get into the series? It's a very interesting series that does a lot of unique things that you don't really see in other games. So I wanted to know what got you interested in the series and why you followed it until now.
I'll be honest with you. The reason I got into this series is the reason I got into Persona, and that reason is on this episode. His name is Jakob. Basically, Jakob was like, after I played Persona, because Jakob forced me to, he was like, oh, you need to check Danganronpa out. And I'm like, Jakob, I don't like this kind of horror shit, man. What the fuck is this? And so, much like Persona, I decided, okay, I'm going to watch the first animation. So I watched the first animation, and I just fell in love, and I was like, you know what? I got a Vita. I can buy this game. So I went to, I believe it was MCM Expo, and like an idiot, I bought Danganronpa 2. So I played that game first, and then I
think I remember getting bad at you for that.
Yeah, so Joe gave me a lot of shit for that.
Why the hell are you playing Danganronpa 2 before Danganronpa 1? Like, I don't care what other game you're playing.
I already knew the story from Danganronpa 1 because I've seen the anime, right? So I thought, okay, there's no point in me playing the game. So I played 2, and I really loved 2. So then I went back. When we went back again the second time, we got to speak with Alan Costa. I believe he's a producer at NAS America or something like that. He's like one of the lead heads at NAS America. So when I got to speak to him, you know, he kind of, I wouldn't say he harassed me, but he was like, you got to play 1. It's a shame that you didn't play 1. And then I decided, okay, I'm just going to buy 1.
Even he was looking down on you.
He was looking down. You can go and check the episode. Go back and check the episode. He was looking down on me because I didn't play 1. I only saw the anime.
I mean, you deserve it.
Well, you know, what can I do? It's I did end up buying it and playing it, and it was enjoyable. No doubt about it. And I just kind of continued with the series when there was a new game with another episode. NIS America were very happy to help us out, and they were like, hey, look, play this game. I bought my copy. They offered me one for free. I bought it, and then the re-release for PS4, they gladly sent me a copy, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I've kind of continued on there, and then Joe and Jakob kind of fueled the whole love of Danganronpa. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan compared to Jakob or indeed Joe, who I believe is the ultimate Danganronpa fan. So I'm not as big as them, but you know, I really enjoy the series. I think it's very well done, and I think the story just hooks me in. I'm very interested to know what got Jakob in it, because Jakob got me in it, so I want to know how he got in it.
Well, the main reason I got into it was, before when the first game was announced to come to the West, people started like talking about it like crazy on my on Twitter. And it was like, I have never like watched or played that game. And then I was like, should I play it or should I watch the anime? And then everyone just said like, play it. The anime, the anime kind of doesn't give you the same experience as the game.
Right.
So I thought, well, you know what? I'm just gonna play it. I already have a Vita. Why not? So I pre-ordered it, and I remember when I started playing it, I sat there for like 3 hours, and just like I was addicted to it like immediately. And I guess that's how my addiction for Danganronpa started.
Like where's the sob story where like there was one day where I was out in the mountains and there was no hope in this world, and then while I was looking towards the winds, I saw a copy of Danganronpa fly to my knees.
What the hell? If you're in the mountains, how do you have like any sort of?
I'm trying to
electricity?
monologue.
Well, see,
alright,
see.
I'll leave
Let's
it
let's just get this clear, right? I would never voluntarily go into the fucking mountains. I have a beautiful room. I have a beautiful bed, a comfy bed. Yeah, and I'm not the biggest fan of hiking.
Well, I'm sure, but dude, how could you not top off like a nice session of Danganronpa with a trip to the mountains? I'm sure Monokuma would be happy with you.
I don't care. He's a
Spoilers, dude. Spoilers. Come on.
Whoa, man! You got it. That's on the spoiler level here.
Sorry.
It's not like anyone that's listening to this has no interest in Danganronpa. I was being sarcastic.
Well, it's very interesting that it's very interesting that Bish started with the anime. Like I started with the anime as well.
Hell
And
yeah, man.
it's really weird looking back on it because like the anime is very lackluster compared to like the actual game. Like once you play like the
I'll be honest with you. It's like it gives you a reason to play the game. Like
yeah, no, that's exactly what started my interest. It's like when it was around the time when I was first getting into anime. Like I was looking for some shows to watch, and then somebody recommended me like Danganronpa the animation. So like, I wonder what this is, and like I saw it. I saw the key art. I love the mix of colors, like the character variety, like the design, like the area design, just the story. It was very engaging. Like I saw the first episode, and I caught up to it. I think I was like 3 episodes behind, and it absorbed me. Like I just could not stop. Like I could not wait every single week to watch the show, because it was so engaging. Like I just loved the premise. It was so insane. Like it was like very mature in a very stupid way.
no, I see what you mean.
It's very interesting how like Kazutaka Kodaka is just very. It's just his way of thinking is crazy. He's crazy to me. Just mixing all these things together and just coming up with all these ideas and like making everything so over the top. It's something I've never seen like a creator do until for a very long time, and that's basically what got me hooked into the series. Like I immediately got the Vita version as soon as I was able to get a Vita, and it's like I didn't hear anything about the second game, so like I was very disappointed that like the game wasn't coming west. And then as soon as I finished the game, I heard, oh, Danganronpa 2 is coming west, and I just could not wait. Like I could not wait until this game came out.
It's interesting, right? Because in Japan, when it got its re-release on Vita, because originally this was PSP games, in Japan when it got its re-release, it came up as 1-2 Reload, like 2 games on 1 cartridge. And when I spoke to Alan Costa, he actually explained it to me. He said, they didn't know how well Danganronpa 1 would do, so it doesn't make sense for them to release both 1 and 2 if in 1 cartridge, if the people weren't gonna latch on to it as big as they did. So
right, like I assume it was maybe because it cost more for like translations and just like localization and such.
maybe
Like, if
that might be another thing, but
I guess we'll never really know, but I knew it was because they wanted to just test the waters and see how the game would do in the West, and it actually sold like thousands of copies, and since then, like it's basically been established that Danganronpa has a huge fan base in the West as well, and since then they've been releasing everything for the West as well. Like we got Danganronpa 2 like a few months after Trigger Happy Havoc came out, and then next year we got another episode, and then the year after that, as you can tell, the West got Danganronpa 3: The End of Host Speed Academy, and it the West is like Danganronpa has an established fan base in the West. It's very supportive. They love the series with all their hearts, and just like seeing all the support just feels good. I'm sure Kodaka feels the same exact way.
no, of course, I think he does, and I believe that there was a recent interview with him because he came over. I think he came over to promote V3. He came to London for a couple of days and he was promoting it, and the general consensus, he is very happy with how it's perceived in the West, and he's excited when he sees Monokuma merch everywhere and things like that. It really does makes him very happy. So that's a good thing.
I mean, it definitely makes me as a fan happy. So like I'm just glad a lot of people can just support his work and like the amount of love he put into the series, because you can like a lot of work, even like with its very like insane premise, you can tell like a lot of thought was put into it, and like just like making each character unique and making them feel like their own main character. It feels good. And like speaking of like the characters, I think it's a good time to talk about like where they come from. Like, what are these characters? It's like these characters each have a special talent, as you see throughout the series. They have a special talent that the game calls an ultimate in the US releases. They have like the ultimate clairvoyant, we have the ultimate lucky student, the ultimate gambler. There are many different ultimate abilities that are just present within the show. And basically what it takes to be an ultimate student is just being the very best at what you do, and just being able to surpass anybody in your specific field. And with that said, like, what would you guys say are your favorite abilities? I really like personally, I can't, it's hard for me to pick out like a specific ability, because the way it's written is that each ability, like each ultimate has like their own, like each ultimate student is very proficient in their own thing, and they express those abilities in the greatest ways, and that's what I find really cool about each character. Like each character feels like they could just star in their own game.
Well, except for some characters like Sayaka.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. She's just there for such a short time. I feel that
Danganronpa is also the series where your favorite ultimate character will die.
Yeah.
So I mean, don't get attached to anyone.
So what were you asking us? Were you asking like what was our favorite ultimate, or?
I was asking what your favorite ultimate abilities were.
Okay. Personally, like my favorite ideas of ultimate. This might not kind of go with who my favorite character is. So I'm just gonna say what my favorite like ultimate ability is. Personally, I'm a big fan of the ultimate Yakuza? So I'm talking about Mondo. Like ultimate biker gang. No?
No, it's
Mondo's the ultimate biker gang leader.
Okay, so what's the difference between the ultimate Yakuza and the ultimate biker gang? Because I thought they were the same, no?
Well, I mean, the biker gang and Yakuza are like two different things.
No, I'm getting confused between Danganronpa 1 and Danganronpa 2.
The Yakuza are more like mafia.
We're just talking about generally, like from both games. What would you say are your favorite ultimate abilities?
Okay. I'm a big fan of the ultimate biker gang and ultimate Yakuza. Like I really like how they are, and how they're really like not flamboyant. That's not the right word. I mean, they're very aggressive, and they speak their mind, but at the same time, there's that sense of pride with them. You can tell that more with the ultimate Yakuza. Yeah, I'm a big fan of those. Like I don't know, it's like there is a sense of justice behind both of them. Do you see what I mean? Even though what they do might not seem correct, but there is a underlying justice with them, and I think that's a very attractive like personality trait. So I really like that within those two.
Yeah, it's very interesting too, because like when they both have a heart of gold.
Yeah.
It's like Mondo like is like kind of like a soft guy like inside, and then Fuyuhiko like warms up to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like
they both put up like a tough guy act.
Yeah, they both have those tough guy acts, and I like it when Mondo had a friend. Like when he with Ishimaru, right? When they were in the sauna, right? They were being very competitive, but then the bonds grew between them. Like
somehow.
Yeah.
Like overnight, suddenly they became like the greatest friends. Like they don't give you time to like comprehend it. It's just like, hey, we're friends now.
But I also think that's because
of
of that underlying justice. That's what is, Ishimaru is all about. Because he's the ultimate moral compass, right? So, public morals committee and things like that. So, he's all about the rules and regulations, but he also has a strong sense of justice and what is right and what is wrong. So I think possibly those two things brought them together, and that's why I'm just a big fan of that kind of ideal, personally.
Interesting. What about you, Jacob?
Well, one of my absolute favorites is actually the Ultimate Cook.
The ultimate chef, if you would.
Oh, sorry, the Ultimate Chef. Yes, that's one. That's two.
Yes, Teruto Hanamura was the ultimate cook. He was kind of a pervert, but he made the world's tastiest party dishes.
But do you know who else was kind of a pervert? No, Hifumi as well.
Oh my! Well, I mean, Fumi's the ultimate fanfic writer. Like, I think that's just him by nature.
Also, I don't know if that counts as spoiler, but I also really like Ultimate Soldier.
Ultimate? Why Ultimate Soldier? Because it doesn't seem, you don't get to see much about the Ultimate Soldier.
No, not because you don't see much of them, but simply because they can they can easily defend themselves. You know, they're like.
Well, you say that, yet that one of the first people to die was the Ultimate Soldier. So
yeah, well, I mean, she probably wouldn't have died otherwise. She let her love for her sister get in the way of it. But it was all a ploy so that they could kind of set up a plan. But in the end, Junko wanted the despair of killing her sister.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I mean, as I said before, it's hard to pick out an ultimate talent because I just like how over the top each of them are. I've never really thought about this.
So why did you ask us if you didn't even think about it, Joe?
It's because, as I said, I love all the talents.
Okay.
It's just I appreciate all of the talents, but if I were to pick one out, I guess, I guess it'd have to be just the ultimate lucky student.
Ultimate lucky student. What about Ultimate Gamer?
I mean, Ultimate Gamer is really cool, but I just like how it's mostly prevalent in Danganronpa 2, where Nagito just gets out of every situation because of his ultimate luck, and everything just goes well for him because of his ultimate luck.
But I get confused with Nagito because it's is it truly ultimate luck? Is that truly his skill?
Obviously.
Well, I mean, it is. Well, I mean, it truly is a skill because even
because
if
it's not the same as Makoto's luck. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, well, Makoto's luck is.
It's Nagito's luck is oh look, I just found this. I'm so lucky. Do you see what I mean? It's not.
I mean, Makoto's luck is very light compared to Nagito's. It's hard. The perceptions of luck are very different between both games. Because in Danganronpa 2, or Danganronpa 1, it was just Makoto just being lucky with the small things. But in Danganronpa 2, you had for example case 5 when Nagito seemingly committed suicide, but he relied on his ultimate luck so that somebody could act as a killer.
Dude, that fucked me up.
That blew my mind. I'm how does he plan? Because I didn't really think about it. I'm it looks like a suicide. He probably killed himself, but something just didn't feel right. And then when you dive into it, it's you realize, oh, he relied on his ultimate luck and made one of the biggest gambles in the game. And it's crazy. It made me feel really sad because he just got the traitor out just by his luck. And Chiaki had to die because of it. It just, oh my god.
But Chiaki didn't truly die. Do you see what I mean?
Well, I mean, he didn't truly die, but she died as
not in the game.
One of the observers.
No, but, well, I mean, but you know what I mean. The ending of Danganronpa 2 is they're in
I meant as a student. She died as a student.
Okay, no, true, because obviously when you were playing it the first time, you wouldn't have known they were in the simulation. So
right, it's just, but it's his plan is initially to just kill everyone else because he after chapter 4 he just hated their guts because he found out, oh, everyone has ultimate despair, so he even killed himself so that he could kill everyone else and weed out the traitor. Honestly, if they failed, when you think about it, if they failed that plan, Junko would have just been able to succeed. All the students would have been dead. All the students that were put into the Neo program would have been dead, and Junko would have been able to revive them.
That's true.
So it's very crazy when you think about it. Once you've beaten the game.
I didn't quite think about it like that. Joe, you just brought up a new point.
I mean, it's a lot of you can connect a lot of things in the series. That's what I really like. It's you can connect these events with these other events. It all pieces together. But I mean, we're talking about Danganronpa 2 a lot, but I think it's time we should just turn that back a bit because I really want to talk about the killing school life and just how all of this started. Well, I mean, it started with Hope's Peak Academy, which was supposed to be the symbol of hope in the world. Only the top students, only like people who were the very best at what they did went to that school. Like all Ultimate students went there, and if they graduated, they were essentially set for life. And this is like the old building of Hope's Peak Academy was the basis of this killing school life. And basically, what this killing school life was, they were trapped inside, as I said before, an old building that's used like within Hope's Peak Academy. And initially, before the game started, it was supposed to be a shelter to protect all of the Ultimate students who survived the tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out that Junko and Mukuro, who were members of Ultimate Despair, got their way in, and because they were a member of the 78th class. And as a result, the shelter was turned into the grounds for what was known as the Killing School Life. And we see all of this through the eyes of Makoto Naegi, who's known as the ultimate lucky student in Danganronpa 1. And his role in the Killing School Life was just he was witnessing everything. He was very normal compared to everyone else, even though he had an ultimate talent of his own. And I wanted to know, what you guys think of Makoto's interactions with all the Ultimate students during the Killing School Life, and how he felt very different, maybe felt very similar, and how do you think his interactions affected the Killing School Life itself, especially his relationship with Kyoko?
I'll be honest with you, because obviously you're playing as Makoto throughout the game, so when you have interactions with characters, you're for the most part you're choosing to hang out with characters in free time, etc. So it feels more personal. It feels like I am personally going and making these relationships with the characters. So then it makes them feel more human. Do you see what I mean? If I was to play the game and purposely choose to minimize the interactions I had with the characters, then it just seems like, okay, this character's going to die next and this character's going to die next. I don't have any sort of investment in the characters. But the fact that I am playing as Makoto, I am the one making those choices. Particularly when I am the one that choose. Okay, I find, for example, not Chiaki. I forgot her name now. The programmer.
Chihiro.
The program, Chihiro Fujisaki.
Yeah. So Fujisaki, right? So when I go in for the interactions with him, spoilers. I find it very. And then obviously when I had those interactions and then I see the character die in such a way, it's like, shit, man. I invested, exactly, it's painful because I had that relationship with that character and I saw that character die. It's not like, for example, the baseball student, right? I didn't give a shit about him.
Leon Kawada.
Yeah, I didn't really give a shit about Leon, right? Because I didn't have much, I didn't spend time with him. For example, Sayaka, because the game heavily focuses that relationship within the first.
Yeah, I think you can finish hers in one session. I think 1 or 2.
Yeah, obviously because she's first to die. But
I mean, you could use the same argument with Byakuya in Danganronpa 2, or the Ultimate Imposter. He died at the beginning, but you did max him out after 1. Because I guess they didn't want you to know because when you think about it, if you were to max somebody out quickly,
that you would
that
know.
would kind of it'd make you feel like somebody was going to die.
But at the same time, could you max him out before he dies?
You cannot, because you only have 2 sessions.
Damn, then.
So it's but the point is it's just I like it. The relationships were great. They made me love everyone even more than I already did.
Yeah, even the hateable characters, you see their human side, and you're like, oh shit, man. For example, I believe Sakura. I didn't want to go anywhere near Sakura, right? But then you interact with Sakura, you see that Sakura's just quite kind and humble, and she has this mission, taking over the family's dojo, etc. And it's like, wow, Sakura, you're cool, yeah, you cool. But before I was kind of confused about Sakura. I'm like, is Sakura a dude? Is Sakura a guy? Sakura seems like they call her the ogre, right? So that is a very imposing.
I feel that was there
thing.
for mainly comic relief, just
possibly.
yeah.
But even the voice is scary. But then when you get to talk to her,
And then you see her commit suicide, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, look, like that heart of gold. That heart is made out of pure gold.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's,
you know, like you could tell how much she cared for everyone.
yeah, of
Like
course.
just like everyone's well-being. Like even though she was the traitor.
yeah.
But what did you think, Jacob? Like, what did you think of like the interactions with the Ultimate students, like Makoto's interaction specifically, and especially his relationship with Kyoko? It's like, what did you think of like his role?
Well, when I like chose any character like to spend free time with them, it actually felt like just like your average visual novel. Like he's like the the normal male protag. Yeah, he has like the exact attitude that like almost every other male protagonist has, except for when it comes to like class trials, but that's where we're gonna go later too. But other than that, I agree with Bish. It was like you don't really get to know these characters that well until you actually choose to like approach them and talk to them, and I really like that aspect. Because like you mentioned, Sakura, like I can relate to that. Like, well, it sounds a little stupid. Like when people like come up to me and talk to me, they like approach me like really like shyly. When they get to know me, they realize I'm not like yeah.
Well, I mean, not in the bad way. It's more like they just get used to and they're fond of you.
Yeah, because they realize I'm not that like the same way I actually look like. Like I'm a fun person, right?
Like that was definitely like one of my favorite parts with somebody like Byakuya. It's just like kind of like how people like just kind of itch their way into the group and just get like they know people better and they just kind of like let their guard down because you can trust these people. It's like that was a nice. Those were like very nice moments that I saw in like Danganronpa 1 and 2, 1 especially. It's like them like coming together, like working together to stop this threat that's keeping them inside the school.
Of course.
I'd say like I've pretty much explained why like my thoughts on the interactions, but like I really liked like I think the strongest interaction of all of them, and I think you guys can agree, is Makoto and Kyoko.
Yeah, of course.
Because like their role, like their relationship was just vital for the story. Like as they built trust for each other, they started learning more about the school. And with chapter 5, when like Makoto sacrifices himself so that he could save Kyoko, like he puts his trust in Kyoko. Like for him to like put his life at stake in order to trust somebody he knows like is innocent, he like it's admirable. And then like when Kyoko comes down to save Makoto, and they have that talk as they come up the ladder, like they just open up to each other. Like as they slowly open up, it just makes their like that combination feel a lot more like human, and like you can tell like they both share different like desires. Like they're not different, they both share the same desires and the same goal. It was wonderful.
I agree.
And well, I guess while we're like on this topic of like the interactions, what would you say like you guys like which characters did you like the most? Which characters did you like the least? Like what did you guys think about it?
Oh, this is it. Are we gonna go into best girl as well and best boy?
I mean, if you want to.
Okay.
I mean, your favorite character could be best girl. It's Aoyashi.
I'll get onto that, but we're talking about Danganronpa 1, yeah?
Yes, we were talking about Danganronpa 1.
In regards to favorite character, I would have to say one of my favorite characters within this game, believe it or not, is Hagakure.
I'm
oh
leaving.
My god.
I'm sorry. The guy gets me. He's just too much. Like, I used to hate Hagakure. I was like, fuck Hagakure, man. Fuck you, Hagakure. And then I played the game.
He doesn't try to. He just does it.
Like, do you see what I mean? Like, he's this lazy dick, and he's just there. He's like, hey, I'm Hagakure. Do you know what I mean? Like, I see him, and I just want to hate. Like, his dreadlocks are just so douchey. I just hate him. But then when I play the game, I'm like, man, I get you, Hagakure, man. You're my guy. Like, I don't know. I just feel this sort of love towards Hagakure, because you see another side of him. You know that he's been like I believe he stayed in the school the longest because he just continued to fail the years.
Yeah, he was an adult in the game.
Yeah, he's old. He's an old dude. Like, I don't know. Like, he looks like the guy that would
I don't know how he got into the
drugs, but
academy. Like I'll never understand how he got into the academy with his like really low like fortune telling rate. Like he's supposed to be the ultimate clairvoyant, but like why?
Well, maybe it's a joke saying that the whole fortune telling thing is bullshit. That might be the joke there. But
yeah, that's probably the joke in it. Like to be honest, like Yasuhiro Hagakure just felt like the comic relief. Like if he was not there, then the game would just feel a lot more dark.
That's true, but you need it. I would say you need like a dumb character like that, and also because like I'm not a fan of Hagakure's voice in Japanese, but I played the game in English, so I just fell in love with Keiji because Keiji was like, "I'm Hagakure," and I'm like, "Hell yeah, Keiji Tang, my man Keiji."
If you're listening to this, we both love you with all of our hearts, and we hope you come back to voice Hagakure someday.
I love you too.
If he's in some like game for whatever reason.
What?
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, Jacob has an interesting relationship with Yasuhiro.
What else? We're talking about least favorite characters.
Least favorite too.
Lundenberg. Celestia.
Did
like,
you just call her
such-
Lindenberg?
Is it because of the
Lundenberg. Lundenberg.
Celestial Ludenberg?
Lindenberg. No, I'm joking. Lundenberg. Is it like a German name, Jacob?
It's not a German
Lundenberg.
name, no.
They only mentioned like
Landenberg.
once, so I can't remember it. But like
Hamburger.
Celestia,
It's weird. Like it sounds like such a, I don't want to say porn star name, but it is.
It's like Ludenberg.
well, I mean her real name was Yasuhiro. Like
Okay.
I think that was her last name. I
Well,
don't understand
I
like
didn't
how
really,
like
I didn't really care about her, so that's probably why. Like she seems so irrelevant, and she's always making these snarky comics. I'm like, shut the fuck up. All right? No, I hope you die next. I had this hatred. Like
I guess like I kind of agree because like she's just kind of rude a lot of times. Like she was very honest, which I liked, but she was often like very pessimistic. She's like, we might as well spend our lives here. And then like you go to chapter 3, and like you see how much of a hypocrite she is, and not to mention that the murderer in that case was completely obvious. Like they mentioned her name once, so I can't really remember, but I know like her last name was Yasuhiro. Like just the way she was acting and the way Hifumi was acting, like it made it obvious that Yasuhiro was not going to be the culprit. So
yeah. But
There's
it's
probably, like, a
also
deeper
another
meaning to
thing
it.
that I don't like is her character design. Like, what is she trying? She's trying to look like Teto, like with the twin
it's
tails.
like a gothic.
Fuck
It's
you.
like a gothic Lolita.
Jacob, you know what I'm talking about. The whole Teto twin.
Yeah,
twin
but
drills.
she's a Lolita. What do you expect?
Yeah, but Mari Rose is also a Lolita, but you don't see the fucking Teto drill tail things. The fuck, man. Like the character design fucks me up a lot.
Ironically enough, her character design is one of my favorites in the game. Like,
Oh,
I just
really?
like the
Okay.
mix of.
I
I
like-
just
I
like
like
because
you
she
think
had
that.
like the ultimate gambler vibe, like with the
How
gothic
is that-
Lolita.
I don't know how those two relate together. How can you be the ultimate gambler and then look like that? Doesn't make sense.
It's just well, I guess it sort of connects to like her reason for killing, because she wanted to have a castle of her own. She wanted like the money so that she could become like the queen, like the princess of a castle.
Sure, I hate bitches like that. It's also, you know what she is? She's the ultimate bullshit. That's what she is. Just saying.
No, that's
Just
that's Nagito. What are you talking about?
Whoa. We'll get to Nagito.
No, Nagito is just the ultimate bullshit.
we'll get
Anything
to
he does,
Nagito.
it goes to his favor.
Yeah, that when we talk about two, then we can talk about Nagito.
Right.
And when it comes to best girl, Joe, you know who it is.
It's Aoi Asahina.
Yeah, it has to be.
Good.
It
It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like if you choose anybody other than Aoi Asahina, who's like one of the cutest characters like in the series, like I'm sorry, I just can't talk to you.
You know what I like most about her? Her hairstyle. You know that McFlurry kind of hairstyle. Like that's
McFlurry.
it's the great. It's such, you know what I'm talking about, Jacob? When they make a McFlurry straight McDonald's, and then they get that peak from the top. That's her hairstyle, and I love it. I love, and she likes donuts. So, I don't mind sharing donuts with her anytime.
And then she
Hell
makes
yeah.
the little cat face. The one that just, like, she's smiling, she's all happy, and it melts my
Hell
heart.
yeah. I didn't quite like her design in the animation, but we'll get to that when we talk about the animation in a couple of episodes time.
At some points. Ooh. You have to wait for that, guys. Well, anyway, Jacob, what'd you think? Who was your least favorite? Who was your favorite? Who was your best girl? And it better be Aoi.
Oh, can we talk about best boy? Sorry, I want to mention who my best boy is.
I thought it was Yasuhiro.
Best boy is Ishimaru.
No. You know who my best boy is? My best boy. The programmer.
Oh, of course it's the trap.
Well, I like traps. Hashtag director of traps. That's Kevin, but I love traps. Like, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about
man.
best boys, then it has to be Ishimaru.
Really?
Yes, it has to be Kiyotaka Ishimaru.
Really?
Alright, but I don't want to interrupt Jacob anymore. I want to hear his thoughts.
Okay, all right.
Least favorite.
I'm judging
favorite.
you about
Best
the
girl.
Ishimaru.
Best boy. Favorite donut. Go.
Favorite.
Well, you actually guessed that my favorite girl is, well, of course, Aoi.
Yes!
I can't argue with that. I mean,
I thought you said yaoi.
yeah, that too.
Hell yeah.
No, but she loves to eat, and I love to eat, and she loves donuts, and I always crave donuts. I love donuts so
Krispy
much.
Kremes or Dunkin' Donuts?
Why not both?
Krispy Kreme. Dunkin' Donuts is cheap.
I don't care. I'll still eat it. That's just me for you.
Oh, I can appreciate that.
As for my best boy, I guess it's probably Kiyotaka.
Yes!
Who's Kyoto? Oh, Ishimaru.
Ishimaru!
Of course.
The ultimate moral compass. The ultimate role model for all students.
That
Even-
guy has got like a McDonald's hairline. Like,
But I
that's
can
what it looks
I can safely say that if I actually met him in real life, I would probably hate him because I can't with people like always have to like correct others and their activities.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
You know Akira from Dead or Alive? Also Akira from
You mean from
Virtual
Virtua Fighter?
He looks like Akira.
Kind of.
He does. And I fucking hate Akira, so fuck you.
No, but I really like him. He's like, he doesn't mean any harm. He just like wants like people to like.
He wants everyone to be civil and have a good time.
Yeah, he wants them to have a good time, but like still like, not break the rules or anything. And one of my favorite parts was when I think it was in the first or second chapter, like when they did that in the gym, that morning aerobics or something, and no one was paying attention to Monokuma, and he was the only one who's like following Monokuma's moves, and I found that so adorable.
Oh my god, I remember that. I don't remember the chapter. I do remember that scene though, and I love it.
That was so cute.
Like it's adorable. I know, I love him. He's a really good character, but it's unfortunate that he had to die in like the shittiest case of the game.
Thank you. I needed that.
How did he die again? Just so I know.
He got
He got killed by
Hifumi.
Hifumi,
yeah.
and then Celestia killed
Hifumi.
Hifumi.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was kind of shit.
I actually really like Celestia.
Jacob,
I
man,
do
what
though.
the fuck?
I do though. I love her bitchy side.
Oh my god, are you secretly a masochist?
No, I actually kind of identify with her.
Nah, man.
Are you gonna be our Mikon of this discussion?
No. I thought Mikan was either Joe or you.
Oh my god. Oh no, that oh.
Though I think Joe is more normal than you, so probably I think it's you.
Who's me? Me.
Bish.
Talking about me. You saying I'm me, Shut
Yes.
the fuck up, man.
That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't say I'm sorry over and over though.
Oh, that means it's Kevin, because he's Canadian.
Oh, wow.
You're so rude.
You're horrible.
Hell yeah. No, I'm joking, man. Oh no, but Mikon is. We'll get on to Mikon when time comes.
And yeah, well, my least favorite character is just Yasuhiro. He's fucking useless as fuck.
That goes
so
without
hard,
saying.
man.
That just says how much I
I mean,
hate
he kind
him.
of is. No, he makes like two smart remarks that lead to like accurate deductions, but those are the only times he makes them, and that's only because like he just makes
You
them
know,
on a whim.
sometimes I wish that people would have actually like thought that he killed Hifumi and Kiyotaka, so Celestia would have succeeded and everyone died, especially Yasuhiro. But too bad it didn't happen. Well, actually, it's pretty good, I guess.
Why are you hating on Hagakure? Hagakure, my man, Hagakure.
I mean, fun fact, he was actually going to be the first victim in the beta.
Yeah, I wish he actually was.
Stop. No, man, you can't do this to me. Hagakure.
Would have been pretty hilarious, but like I actually do kind of like Agakure too, so I can't really
Thanks,
really go against
So I
him.
do have to say that he's probably the realest person in this game, though.
Yeah, that's why I like him.
I don't
My
like
man,
him.
Hagakure.
I still don't like
Shut up,
him.
Shut up, Jacob.
Shut up,
cares
Bish.
about your opinion. No one cares about your opinion. Your wife is shit.
My
Your
what?
husbando
How
is
dare you?
shit.
That's
My wife?
How dare you?
Your wife and your husbando.
I don't have a wife.
No.
I'm
No.
gay.
No. You're dissing Aoi now. That's inexcusable. I'm gonna if you make another remark like that, I'm gonna have to ban you from this
Oh
discussion.
no, I can't be banned. I can't be banned. Not again.
Well, I mean, we've been talking so much about the characters. Like, we've been talking about their interactions, like least favorite, your favorites. But like they wouldn't all be together if it weren't for like the actions of like just the headmaster, and they wouldn't be acting in these ways without Monokuma.
Thanks, Monokuma.
And for better or worse. But now that we're on the topic of Monokuma, well, while we're on that topic, what'd you guys think of Monokuma? Like, what'd you guys think of like his/her character? Like, what do you guys like? Why do you guys think he's maybe a really strong villain, a very weak villain?
I love that fucking bastard. He's like that villain that like will say anything he wants to because he
But
can.
I don't think he's necessarily a villain. He seems more to me like an anti-villain, which is very weird. He's kind of like Deadpool in a way. I'm not sure if you guys read comics.
Why is he an anti-villain?
Because he does some fucked up shit, but at the same time, you know, he wants them to get to that. Like, if I feel like most of the time he wants them to get to that conclusion. You know, he's happy when they succeed in finding the killer, etc.
Well, I mean, that's not really an anti-villain. It's just being sadistic.
Okay, maybe, but you know, I like how
He's just
Well, I mean,
batshit
it kind of makes
crazy.
sense. Like, I wouldn't really put it as sadistic, but like, since Junko just kind of had this huge like despair fetish, like she kind of like just enjoyed seeing them suffer because it brought like despair upon herself, and seeing them happy brought despair upon herself as well. It's like just like pretty much breathing brought her despair.
yeah, she's always getting those despair boners.
Oh my god,
I'm sorry. Hashtag despair boners.
despair lady boners.
But what we're about Monokuma, I like the fact that he breaks the fourth wall a lot. I really do. Like he's jumping in between characters, and you see him even within the game, within the context of the game. There are moments where he actually breaks up the game, and he has like, and it tends to be during the loading scenes, right? And he has
It's
these
like, yeah,
little
like every
puppet
time they switch
shows
between
and things
days.
like that. Yeah, it's pretty weird, right? Because he knows what's going on. He's the one effectively telling the story, and at the
He's
same
having
time,
a good time.
yeah, he's having fun, and it's like, you know, you really want to have fun with him as well. But it's quite weird. Like, you see him, he has a reason for everything. At the same time, he's just fucked up, and he breaks the fourth wall. He makes jokes. Even at the beginning of the game, when you first boot up the game is telling you not to pirate the game, and it's actually Monokuma telling you that. So it's really, it's kind of weird thing. Like, he knows you're playing the game as a player.
Yeah,
Yet at the
it's
same
pretty
time,
wonderful. It's very charming. I especially liked, like, there's one scene, I think it was during chapter 4, where like Makoto was like just out like watching Monokuma while like Kyoko was like trying to get into the headmaster's office, I believe. Well, not like it's, I can't remember the scene exactly, but I know like Monokuma and Makoto were just talking by the bathhouse, and then he was telling me like, oh, like, are you trying to something dirty, and like, are you and then like, are you trying, like, do you really want to? And then like right before he says anything, it just like covers the entire message, so it just says like censored to abide by censorship laws.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
I love it.
It's
was
stuff like
fucking
that.
whack.
It's he's always cracking these jokes, and he does it in this weird, like when he wants to be fierce, because at the end of the day he is a bear, but at the same time it's like he can crack a couple of jokes. He can, he's cute at the same time. He's just like he can fuck shit up. So that's what I love about Monokuma, especially his design. Like he's two sides of the same Monokuma coin. Shit pan. You know what I mean.
Funny joke.
But even though
get
shut
it.
up, Jacob. Even the way he laughs.
I did.
All right, you just rewatch this episode and you be like, "Oh shit, man!" Now I get it. All
I
right,
still
stop.
don't get
You
it.
just need to stop about not getting it. All right. But what I genuinely enjoy about it is even though he's cute, cuddly, he's got a beer belly as well. I like that.
Like his original designs like involved him just being like some kind of like it's like half human, then I think like half like skinned off.
The fuck.
I think that was actually like one of the creepiest.
Yeah, it was
concept
pretty
arts for
creepy.
the
But then they
entire
went
game.
with Monokuma, who was like this like little like cute little bear, which had like a demonic side.
In a way, that's more scary, no? Because with horror films like Chucky and I don't know other ones that
Well, I mean, I
involve
guess they
toys
wanted-
coming to life to fuck people and kill people. Like,
I guess they wanted to go
I
for
don't think it's-
something like dark at first, and then they made it a little more comical.
but
like, as
at the
they were
same time,
developing it.
I probably assume it's because they don't get it's for the Japanese rating systems. Because if they go,
I mean that's also plausible.
yeah, because like there's no blood. Well, there's blood in the game, but they've changed it to pink, right? And I presume that is something to do. And this is something Alan Costa was telling us. He was saying, it has something to do with the censorship laws in Japan. And if you show blood and stuff, you get a certain rating, and then you can't. It's more difficult to publish, etc. So, but they've done it in such a creative way. So
It's actually
Thumbs
funny because the characters in the game itself still see the blood as red. Like the characters don't acknowledge that it's actually pink.
yeah, of course. Why would they?
I know exactly. It's just the funny part to me. It's like I feel like that was a joke in itself. But
Maybe they're colorblind. I don't know.
what did you think, Jacob? You haven't seen much.
I don't know. I think that the pink blood actually just really adds to the flair of the game. Because I think that if it would be red,
I mean, if it were red, then it wouldn't really be like Danganronpa, I guess. If that's a good way to put it. Just
I think it would be just like. I think it wouldn't be like the game that it is, even though it's blood.
I mean,
you know?
it's because like
It's
the
just
pink
like,
blood gives Danganronpa its identity. Like it gives it some of its identity,
exactly.
which is like that's why I'm totally fine with them like just censoring it.
Especially because like pink is like one of the dominant colors in the series, actually, like in the entire series.
Right. What'd you think about Monokuma, like himself? Like what?
Sorry, can you?
What did you
repeat
think
that?
about Monokuma himself? Like what did you think of his character? Like his role in the killing school life and like what he did.
Well, I love Monokuma. He's like one of my favorite characters like in the entire series because he's so fucking weird and crazy, but at the same time he still like has like a human kind of side, like especially if it's like what time do they wake up at? 7 a.m. do they wake
Yeah,
up at that
it's
time?
7
school.
a.m.
And every time he like sits there in his chair, and Danganronpa 2 has like this cocktail, and he's like, "Good morning, everybody," and I love that because it's like perfect.
Wait, you're talking about the English voice, no? Or the
I played both games in both languages.
I love
so.
Monokuma's English voice actor. It adds to his character so much. Like it's just the way he speaks and like the way he's so goofy and like when he gets angry, I just can't help but laugh. Like
He's so goofy, but at the same time, like if he can be so goofy, but at the same time, yeah, if he's angry, he like threaten to actually kill you. So I think he's like in a way he's kind of like Celeste, kind of. He's not the exact
Don't compare
same.
Monokuma to trash, okay? What is this, Jake?
If I compared Monokuma to trash, I would be comparing him to Yasuhiro.
No!
Oh my god!
KG?
Yeah, why'd you have to go there?
KG. My boy KG, if you're listening.
Well,
wait,
even
wait,
then,
wait.
Monokuma's also kind of low-key like comic relief, probably. he's like still the main antagonist, but
Well, I feel like it's both
he
comic
always
relief and
has this comedic thing.
and to add to Junko's personality, like as somebody who just jumps between character to character. Because Monokuma just does whatever he wants, and then when you finally see Junko, like, she just acts as anybody she wants.
I mean, just imagine Monokuma with, for instance, Chihiro's personality. Like, that wouldn't add up, you know?
Yeah. Like, Monokuma absolutely has to have the personality he has now, or else it just wouldn't be the same. Or maybe that's just because
but at
we're
the
so
same
used
time,
to it.
it's like he's like he's a different person. Like he's himself. He's not like control or anything. So I don't know. It's like weird to say, but to me, Monokuma's a different person from the actual mastermind, even though he isn't really.
He's I don't know. It's weird because it's like in the end, Monokuma is just another one of Junko's personas. Like Monokuma acts in his own special way, as well as like her queen persona or her secretary persona, etc.
But part of me thinks, like, at least within the first game, Monokuma's very, like, I don't want to say robotic, but robotic in the confines of what Monokuma is, right? He's following orders from Junko. But I feel that, and I know we're going to talk about the second game shortly, but I mean, I feel that in the second game, he's more himself, right? He gets to make those choices, and he gets to kind of open out, like, get out of his shell a little bit more. I feel like
I mean, you could say this because, like, in a way, like in Danganronpa 2's case, Monokuma, Junko was Monokuma because, like, since she was like the virus, like she could transform into anything.
Exactly, yeah.
But like back to Danganronpa 1, like the reason I bring up Monokuma is like I really liked his role in the game and like his reason for doing all this in the first place, like why he started the killing school life and like what he was trying to achieve. Like I guess you could also include Junko into this too, because since she was the true mastermind behind everything. It's like what did you guys think of like Monokuma's like reasons for the killing school life, and like how do you think it affected the students and like what they thought was real, what wasn't?
To be honest, I think the fact that this whole killing school life thing was a thing kind of put pressure on the students, right? Because in the end, they could have all potentially, if they came to the certain conclusions that they did, they could have all left and won, right? If they had done it sooner, if they had worked together, because there is always that option of just living out. And Monokuma did give it to them. He said, you can stay here forever, or you can kill each other off until, last man standing gets to go home. And when you give that opportunity to someone, it's kind of like Saw, right? When you give that opportunity to someone is going to crack at one point. And it's very interesting in terms of the whole psychological element, right? Because someone has to crack.
Yeah, it's kind of like
pressure.
Psychological pressure.
Exactly. And it's always the weakest person first, because they know that they have to kill someone. Like Leon, he preyed on the weak.
Yeah, right.
So that because he thought, okay, I'm going to kill the idol. She's not gonna know. Like, she's not gonna defend herself.
Here's the interesting thing. No, like it was Saga who was trying to kill Leon, and then what happened was that like Leon got the upper hand, and like he could have just stopped it, like and like called it off as self-defense, but instead he decided to just go the extra mile and kill Saga.
But
himself.
the thing is, right? If he didn't, if he stopped it as self-defense, and he managed to defend himself without killing, you don't know what else Sayaka would have done.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he went for it, and then that's why he went the extra mile.
Exactly. He was forced to go the extra mile because he doesn't know what they're gonna say. She could say, "Okay, he tried to kill me yesterday," and then that
that'd create doubt within people.
Exactly. So that's the very interesting.
But he could have just stopped, like when she went into the bathroom. He could have just stopped and just like ring the bell of random people like crazy and like.
Yeah, but
that bitch tried to kill me.
Time,
like she had the knife and she tried to kill me.
Because if you say, okay, this person tried to kill me, then you're gonna gang up other people on a particular character. So it's not. But that's the interesting thing about this whole killing school life.
There can't be like more than two. There can't be more than one culprit.
Hit everyone the most in the end wasn't really like. Well, I mean, it was the killings. They felt really bad about it. But I think what hit them the most was what they found at the end, when they found out their school memory, they had memories supposed to be academy this whole time. They were taken away, and while they were doing this killing school life, the world just ended. It's like when you're faced with that all of a sudden, it's you don't really know how to think. It's like suddenly, like, this whole time the world ended. I've been in this killing game like while the world was in this state. Like, what's happening to my friends and family? What's happening to, like, the stores I frequent all the time?
But that's also, like, different because, like, they didn't realize the world ended. They just saw that their loved ones or whatever were just taken or hurt or something like that, and that's why they wanted to get out. But I think that if they like knew from the very beginning that the world actually like ended, I don't know if they would all automatically say like, maybe it's time to go out. Maybe it's smart to go out right now.
But Monokuma locked them up though. So how could they get out?
That's the reason Monokuma erased their memories. Because if they knew that they like deliberately put themselves inside the shelter and knew about the world outside, then like it's like they wouldn't want to leave. It's like they wouldn't kill anyone. They just spend their lives in the school.
See, and that's the funny thing because Monokuma gave them that choice. So it's as if Monokuma knows that Monokuma doesn't know that they kind of was stuck in the school because of what happened outside, right? It's like very foreshadowing, right?
He also wanted to broadcast the killing school life so that he could spread, like, Monokuma and Junko could spread despair.
Ooh man, Twitch Prime.
It was broadcast all over Twitch Prime. That's how the tragedy started.
That's how the tragedy is because of Twitch Prime. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, another thing when I first saw that shocked me. I was like, what a sick fuck. You know what?
Yeah, like, and like why would he? Like, why would he do this? And like, why would Junko go through so many lengths just to make people watch a killing game? Like, there's no point to it. And then, it's just despair. Like, she wants to feel despair. It comes back to her strong desire to spread despair across the entire world. And that affects her actions throughout the entire...
It's basically the exact same thing. The Hunger Games.
Well, like, they just...
It's kind of the Hunger Games, but... Well, it actually is. I don't care.
It was the Hunger Games.
One's like the other. I don't care.
My favorite part of the Hunger Games was when Monokuma took over the world.
Exactly. No, but they're kind of similar, you know? Like, in the Hunger Games, they were also broadcast because they wanted to show the people there's no hope. So...
Damn.
But unfortunately... The hope was too strong.
Unfortunately, Katniss was there, you know?
Katniss Naegi.
Can you believe Katniss is the same person as Makoto? I hate you.
That's the best joke I've ever heard on the podcast before. That was a true laugh joke.
Well, I mean, like, real talk though, in the end, like, Makoto's hope was really strong. And that's what like inspired everyone to go against Junko and not just stay in the school forever, because like I think they were put in a situation where if they voted to stay in the school, one of them would have had to be executed too, because if they just stay in the school, then that means the broadcast would just have to stop, and that means Junko will want to end it at. Like, would want to end the broadcast with a bang.
But
so
I think that's probably why Monokuma killed off his her sister.
Well, that was just her. Like, well, one, it was part of the broadcast. Like, she probably probably used it as a way to spread despair as well. But like, she also killed her.
She wanted to feel this.
Yeah, she wanted to feel the
despair herself. She was like, I want to see my sister die. Because that'll just give me more despair.
Alright, and that's why...
That was the only reason she did that.
That was really, like, the only reason she did that. Like, he just killed her in cold blood. But, like, she wanted to end the broadcast with a bang. So they were going to execute one of the students with, like, an extreme punishment. But because Makoto's hope was so strong, he inspired everyone to vote for hope and to leave the academy instead of staying. And instead, Junko, like, took her own life in that execution. And in the end, they were able to, like, go out of the academy and see what was ahead and see if what was happening was true or not.
I have a quick question. I'm guessing we're going to be leading on to Danganronpa 2, right?
Yep, that's basically Danganronpa 2 picks up like sometime after, like almost right after Danganronpa 1.
I have a question in regards to, because obviously she kills herself within the final execution, but it's mentioned within Danganronpa 2 that the remnants of despair, the the students, that they did horrible things to Junko's body, and this is something I want to talk about because I didn't quite understand it. If she did kill herself, how the hell did they get hold of her body? Do you see what I mean? Like, some of them.
Are you still talking about the despair people actually?
The remnants of despair and
doing her body.
Jacob,
yeah.
But this is something I want to know about. First of all, I want to know who.
Well, I mean, it could be said that like they just abandoned the old building of Hope's Peak Academy. They found Junko's body and they just did whatever they did with it.
Because if I'm not mistaken,
it's not really
Nagito
confirmed.
Took a hand, no.
Yeah. I mean, it's not confirmed like officially about how they found Junko again and how they found her corpse. Like, it's just like it's kind of speculation. But like the point is, like they were carrying out the will of Junko, and they still kind of treated her as some sort of deity, and they did these different things to her so that they could like feel even more despair and carry out her will.
It's kind of fucked up though. I know this is a weird conversation, but at the same time I want to know who was it? Who was the one that done that necrophilia? I want to know.
Probably Kazuichi, because he couldn't get laid with.
Oh my god.
No, that.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It was probably.
I think we need to think outside of the box. Maybe it was Mikon with the strap on.
No, don't
I hate you.
Talk about Mikon.
But at the same time, I also want to know, wasn't her body crushed underneath that huge weight?
Right.
Did they like fuck a noodle or something, or a noodle corpse or something?
Wait, no.
Grab,
guys,
did they
guys,
grab
guys.
like some
You know
sort
what I
of
think-
pump
you know what I
and
think
then just
happened?
pumped her body back
You know-
into shape, and
Do you know
then
what I think happened, Jacob?
used her as some kind of
Do you know what I
sex
think
doll or
happened?
something?
It has something to do with Nagito. He took the arm, which means no. Means he jacked himself off with the arm. Yeah, with the hand.
Nah, I'm pretty sure Nagito's gay.
Still,
Nagito's gay for hope.
Gay for hope.
I think he's
you just
definitely
say that,
gay.
what the hell?
No, do you
I think he is.
Dude, he's like the very definition of the ends justify the means. Except he replaces the ends with hope. Like, it doesn't matter where the hope comes from. As long as you feel like the strongest hope, he doesn't care what happens.
So you're saying he's got a hope erection.
So then he's a gay means something for hope thing kind of person.
Well, because Nagito's character is very interesting. We're gonna talk about that in a bit. But like the short version, that he admires Hope's Peak Academy and he admires the Ultimate Students, and the admiration like makes him very indifferent. Like, he loves each student equally, and no matter what they do, like, he just wants to see them shine even brighter.
But it's to me,
he's
it's
a
a very weird
psychopath.
concept. Like, why would you want to see everyone succeed and everyone shine brighter? That, as a beacon
That's
of
very
hope, it
interesting.
doesn't make sense.
That just comes back to like Nagito and his like way of thinking. Like, that's just how he sees hope. Because hope is very suggestive in the Danganronpa series. It doesn't mean one thing. It's like, for example, with Izuru Kamakura, hope means talent. With Makoto, it's like hope is like simply like being hopeful of like what's to come. With Nagito, like hope is just seeing somebody shine bright no matter what the circumstances are. Like, he even became despair himself. He became an ultimate despair just so that he can see that hope shine.
I don't know.
I mean,
it
we're gonna
feels like
talk.
a loophole.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that right now. Like, now that we're on the topic of Danganronpa 2 characters, it's actually a really good time to just talk about like the Killing School trip and like how it plays into the series. So basically, Danganronpa 2 starts off. You take the role of Hajime Hinata, who is supposedly an ultimate student who doesn't really remember his talent. who suddenly, for some reason, finds himself in a classroom. He has no idea how he got there, with 15 other students. And they suddenly find out that Usami, who later becomes Monami, brought them all to Jabberwock Island to collect hope fragments. And right as everything's about to pick up, Monokuma suddenly appears and starts the killing school trip, which is the same rules as the killing school life, except they're on an island, and whoever gets to a class trial without being caught gets to leave the island, or everyone else dies.
But the twist is here, like, if I'm not mistaken, that Junko came in and fucked shit up, hence why Monokuma arrived. This was effectively supposed to be a rehabilitation for the Ultimate Despairs.
Right, it's because the Jabberwock Island that the Killing School trip took place in was actually a virtual recreation of it in the Near World program. The Near World program was made so that it could replace memories and undo trauma from people who have suffered from trauma and all of this pain and despair that they ended up feeling during the tragedy. And it was created with the help of the Ultimate Programmer, the Ultimate Neurologist, and one more person. I can't remember, but bottom line is that this program was used. But this program wasn't like perfect. There was still like some, like, they kind of rushed the experimentation. I don't want to call it experimentation because it was made to rehabilitate. Like they kind of rushed the testing stages because like they found the ultimate despairs, and Makoto wanted to fix them. He wanted them to become, like, to see hope again and to undo the despair, like the despair-induced trauma that they felt.
Yeah, Future Foundation tried to kill them because they thought they were too big of a threat.
Yeah, the Future Foundation thought they were too big of a threat, so that they tried to eradicate all of them. But Makoto, in a way, betrayed the Future Foundation so that he could like convert, because he saw that there was a way to fix them with the New World program. So he brought them all to Jabberwock Island along with Byakuya and Kyoko. They put them in a New World program and started this. Well, it was supposed to be just a regular school trip, where like they were supposed to develop hope and then graduate, so that those memories would be replaced, like their memories of despair would be replaced with memories of hope. But because Monokuma appeared, like it created a place where violence should not have been allowed to begin with, and he modified the graduation program so that Junko, who was again the true mastermind of everything, could basically upload herself into the dead students if they were to graduate. The graduation program was modified so that there were different choices. There would be one where there's one choice where they could stay and continue their killing school trip. I don't know if that implies like more killings would occur, but like they would just stay in the virtual Jabberwock Islands.
I think what would have happened was it would just started again, just from the beginning of simulation. Just an infinite loop.
Possibly. Because that actually is a good point, because once, it's like, when you go through that, like, Hajime's moment, like, because there's a moment, like, when Hajime just conflicted, he doesn't want to deal with it. Like, he kind of just goes insane, if you want to put it like that, and, he's suddenly in a trial with, like, everyone alive again. And, like, everyone's just happy, having a good time. So, like, you could say, yeah, it's like an infinite loop. But the second choice was that they could graduate and go through just return to the real world with the memories they had in Jabberwock Island. But the catch would be that the people who died would end up becoming Junko, essentially. She would upload herself into the dead classmates, and Junko would be reborn. But then there was a third option, that was the shutdown sequence that Makoto, Kyoko, and Byakuya were trying to enforce, where the entire program would just reset, Monokuma and Junko would be eradicated, but that would mean that they would go back to being ultimate despair. without their memories. And that's where like the whole like conflict comes around the end. But before we get to the end, I think it's better if we just talk about the Killing School trip itself and like how it's similar to the Killing School life. It's like how would you guys say like the Killing School life was the Killing School trip was different from the Killing School life? Like how is it similar? Like what do you think it was trying? What was it trying to achieve as well, or as well as we just explained? It was so that okay, we're gonna cut that out. And why and what the Killing School trip was trying to achieve.
Okay, I personally think that the objective is the same, right? Although slightly different, because she doesn't want them to graduate, or in fact she wants them to graduate, but just so she can upload her consciousness to their bodies. But I found it a lot different, only because that there was a lot more you can do. There was this constant influx of good and evil. There was always, you had Monomi, and you had Monokuma, always kind of like battling it out in a way. And then obviously Monokuma triumphing and saying, hey look, I'm the top dog here. And there was this kind of theme of good versus evil, hope versus despair. Much like in the other games, but this is more heavily enforced just because you have Monomi as a character. But in addition to that, because it's an island, you have more scenes to play with, right? It's not just the school, where it's the library and you got the swimming pool and stuff like that, but you got the beach, which is very vibrant. You got the you got a bunch of different places that you can go and visit, and a bunch of different scenarios. Exactly, there's a lot more freedom because they've effectively created their own island. I also found it within the game itself, the different mechanics, the way the story was told was very interesting. One thing that I do remember was, the arcade game that you had to play. That was cool. Like, to find out who the killer was. I can't remember which chapter it was, but it was...
It was chapter 2. The game was called Twilight Syndrome Murder Case.
Yeah, that was... Because you can fuck that up. Like, you can actually fuck that up. So...
Well, because, you're supposed to fuck it up because, like during the investigation, when you're investigating Mahiru's killer, you end up, playing the true version of the game. But now that you know, the second and the fourth day, you can kind of piece everything together.
Yeah.
And then you find out that the game is based off of non-fiction events, and it's crazy. What I like about Danganronpa 2 is that it was a lot more focused on the history of Hope's Peak and what happened at Hope's Peak Academy. It was focusing a lot on the Killing School life, but there was just so much backstory that we were getting from Hope's Peak Academy itself during the game, and it was almost overwhelming. They were giving a lot of information. I felt like it really added. That's what I really like about Danganronpa 2. It added to the lore. It added to the story.
Exactly. It just added upon
the overall arc.
One thing I really enjoyed about Danganronpa 2 was there was the constant, as you mentioned, constant references to the first game. There was the, when Nekomaru becomes Mekomaru, and he comes back, and that's that whole kind of, I'm not going to say dungeon, but that within that chapter you have these weird walls with the grapes on them and things like that, and then there's a statue of Sakura.
There's grape house, strawberry house of the fun house.
Yeah, I really love that. It was like this weird, it's not escape room thing, but even then there was references to Virtue's Last Reward and things like that with the escape room moment.
But it was an escape room.
Yeah, the Zero escape room and the final dead room.
Yeah, exactly. I'm guessing that's because the creators are friends, right? So it makes sense.
Well, yeah,
well,
even
it's also
the trophies for the first game had several references to the Zero Escape games.
Well, the Danganronpa was also created by Spike Chunsoft.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's because Nagito went in there so that he could find some clues, and he basically relied on his ultimate luck to get through it. And something I found really funny during that scene was when he had to play Russian roulette, but he didn't know how to play Russian roulette, so instead of putting one bullet in, instead of having a 5 out of 6 chance of surviving, he put 5 bullets in and had a 1 out of 6 chance of surviving.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and then he actually explains that to Hajime and Jiakin, and they're like, You played that wrong, right?
So it was so good, and he survived too. Which that's why I love Nagito's talent. It's ultimate bullshit. It's like he
Ultimate-
does the
hell yeah.
dumbest things, and he still survives.
I love his talent though.
What
Well,
the ultimate
talent.
bullshit?
Well, I love ultimate luck.
He said ultimate luck, but
Well, he's
you-
the
you
ultimate
mean
lucky
he's
student,
ultimate
right?
bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was chair.
Oh my god. Like Nagito is definitely a really good character. Like he's a very important part of the story too.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
I would say so.
And like his flip in chapter 4 was definitely like his biggest development. The biggest development we've gotten from Nagito. Because after he beats the final dead room, he gets information about like who everyone really is. He finds that they're all ultimate despair. And so like you can tell like he suddenly feels like a lot meaner towards everyone. Like he feels like he's being a lot ruder to everyone and like not treating them the same as he did before. Especially Hajime, like he just treats him like trash because he finds out like, oh, he doesn't actually have a talent, and he's just a reserve corps student.
But obviously, we don't get to find that out within the game. That's within the anime, you know.
You find out within the game.
What the fuck?
That's the basis of the game.
Oh.
Have you played the game?
I have.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
wondering.
have played the game, but I can't remember that.
I think. What do you mean you can't remember? That was the basis of like chapter 4 to 6.
After he dies, you like have to search his room. There you find the book and everything where the profiles are shown.
That's also where you find out that Byakuya was actually the ultimate imposter. Boy, like you gotta remember your Danganronpa facts. Like, you're slacking. No, like that was the basis for like Hajime's development from chapter 4 onward. Like he's a reserve corps student, so he feels very out of place.
That's why he goes crazy.
What?
Yeah, like I think this is a good time to talk about Hajime. Like now that we're at least on the topic of him as like the reserve corps student, how he's very
One
different.
thing I didn't understand, you know, that transformation he went through. I never understood that. You know, with the long hair, and he basically became like Jesus. Like how?
They played with his
Well, because
brain.
that's just how he originally. Because the New World programs created appearances based off of how they looked, like what before they entered the academy, and because Hiyoko like had a growth spurt during her time at Hope's Peak, but she doesn't have one during like Danganronpa 2.
Yeah, but obviously isn't that's mentioned within the game? I know that for a fact. But I mean, you know, with the whole Izuru, Kamukura, whatever, like what he was. It's to me, I didn't quite understand it until I watched the Danganronpa 3 animation. Like within the game, I don't feel like it made much sense to me. Do you see what I mean?
It didn't make sense though.
How?
Like what didn't make sense?
How? For me, it just felt like a very
What didn't make sense?
like I don't know. It was very vague to me.
They explained that in the, there was this file that they found when, after when was that? Anyways, when they opened the door to that huge foundation building on the second island, I think.
Yeah, they went into the ruins.
And then everything just glitches out, and then you start talking to.
Yeah, you enter chapter
what's
0.
his
You
name?
talk to Nagito.
Yeah, not just to Nagito, but like you talk to alternate ego, and then you talk to Makoto,
Oh right, yeah, that too.
and they basically explain to you like the whole thing.
Well, I mean, it's also like from the facts you find. Like it's just like you find out about the Hope Cultivation Plan, which was also known as the Izuru Kamakura Project. And then you find out like, oh, because they also tell you like, they don't know why. Like Monaco will question like, why did you forget you're a reserve corps student? It's like you should have entered, like before you entered the academy, you should have known that you were gonna go in as a reserve corps student. So why did you forget that?
I see.
It's like it kind of like slowly hints at the fact that like Hajime was Izuru, and then like it was only during the academy that he got the look of Izuru.
This is something that I really want to talk about because I'm looking here, and this Izuru, he's effectively got all of the ultimate powers. Do you see what I mean? It's weird, but he also has some unnamed talents, but which I can't mention
he's
now.
the
but
ultimate hope, He's known as the ultimate hope because he was made with the image of like just somebody who has every talent possible. Like they wanted to create somebody who could create true hope through like various talents, and that's why he was given the nickname of Ultimate Hope. Like Hajime's just a very interesting character. Like Hajime, like, and before you find out he's a Zuru, it's like he's very similar to Makoto, and how like they kind of feel out of place, and like he's kind of like he's a lot more honest. Like his opinion, like he's sometimes a little foul mouthed. Like he gets angry. He feels like upset. He freaks out. He feels weak. Like Makoto, he's very different in Makoto in that sense. Makoto like is trying to be very hopeful, and like he expects things to get better soon. But Hajime is somebody who just kind of like he's weak. It's like he doesn't know how to deal with all these events happening. Nothing just works out for him.
Hajime is Hajime.
Yeah, now that we're like, since we're talking about his out of place like aspect, what would you guys think of him and his interactions with the Ultimates, like before they found out he was a Reserve Corps student and after? Like especially, I do want to emphasize this, especially his relationship with Chiaki and Nagito.
Well, mostly like I don't think much really changes between most of the characters and Hajime, except for like for instance Kazuichi, because he like thinks Hajime is the traitor because he doesn't have a talent or because he's a reserve student. Kazuichi's just like naive, or just dumb, or maybe both. Well, either way, I was gonna say she is, but yeah, he is. Anyways, I think Chiaki's just like, well, so you don't have a talent, who cares? And Nagito just like blows out like, you do not matter, die, you imbecile, basically like that.
Yeah, it's because like he had such a strong relationship with Hajime because he just felt like they kind of connected and were very similar. And then
but also because Hajime woke up to Nagito talking to him, so
right. It's also then like when he flips, when he finds out like, oh, like Hajime is just a Reserve Corps student, like his treatment towards him is just so different, and it kind of hurts a bit. Like you just feel bad for him, and you suddenly just hate Nagito with all of your heart.
I agree, even though I don't dislike Nagito. I know people are gonna hate me for this, but even I hated him when he went like, "Fuck all y'all," when he found out, when he's like, "Oh, I know all about you."
He was just very disturbed in the end. Like his way of thinking was twisted enough, but having him as an enemy was just even more dangerous.
I just want to know what his parents went through.
He explained this. I know he definitely explained this. I can't remember where though.
Like his parents must have like, they were like, oh yeah, he's back at it again. Just don't pay him no mind. He'll get over it. Just mind your business.
No, I believe he was, I can't remember, honestly. I wish I could remember off the top of my head, but I remember during his, I think it was, like, either during his free time events, or, like, during, like, a certain part of the main story, he mentioned something about his parents. So, like, I think...
They took him to an amusement park. No, he once mentioned that they took him to an amusement park. Also, his mother apparently never, complimented him on his appearance.
Right. I remember that. It was during the Teruteru case when he was talking.
Oh, his parents were killed in front of him.
That's what it was. They were in an accident. But anyway, like, it's just his way of thinking was twisted enough, and having him as an enemy like proved to be very dangerous. Like that case 5 just is a testament to that. And like it's just when he killed himself and he used his ultimate luck to make it so that Chiaki was the murderer. It is insane. Like to think that he would go so far is just like incomprehensible.
Someone who goes that batshit crazy, just like especially like after the first just after the first class trial, you realize that idiot is fucking insane. He'll do anything for hope.
Yeah, because it comes back to like his like the hope justifies the means. Like he will do anything to see like a hope shine even brighter. And then once he finds out that all of this, like about everyone being ultimate despair, he decides to end his own life so that he could try to become ultimate hope.
Yeah.
Which is a very interesting like point, like because he just obsessed over hope, and that just became the end result.
Okay, but one thing I love about Nagito, his Japanese voice actress.
Oh my god, I actually haven't listened to much of the Japanese voices.
Like the voice itself is pretty damn amazing, but like his that transfers to the topic of the anime, of the third anime, but the ending theme is just perfect. Like for Despair arc, which what I think it's called Hope's Birthday or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I think Certain Hope's Birthday or something like that. Anyways, that song's just...
Well, Nagito is a very interesting character, but I think like now we're kind of like we're focusing a lot on him. I think it's time we kind of focused on like just the characters as a whole, like just looking back on everyone and think like what would you say, which character you like the most, which character you like the least?
I'm very, very excited to talk about who my favorite character was within Danganronpa 2. Drum roll, please, guys. Drum roll. It was Ibuki.
Ibuki, oh my god.
And I felt really bad when she died. It was like, man, I wish she was one of the ones that survived.
Free time events with her?
I did, yeah, because once again it was Jacob. Jacob was like, hell yeah, man, go and talk to Ibuki. Ibuki's really cool. Like she's really awesome. And she's part of the K-On! Club at school. Being the ultimate musician. But she's just pretty awesome. I like her design. I like how she's just so Genki, she's very like up-spirited, you know what I mean? Like you look at her and you're like, oh man, she looks like a freak.
She was wonderful. I loved her cheery personality. She kind of just brightened up the mood.
Exactly, she brightens up the mood, and you wouldn't expect it from her character design, but it works. And I think I'm in love with her.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be very like serious or very like punk rocky. Like she had the kind of like punk rock personality, but when she started talking and you got to know her, she was just very adorable.
Very, very adorable. And now it makes it difficult, the choice for best girl, right? Because it's between her and
Chiaki.
And no,
Chiaki.
No, and I have 3 best girls now. This is so hard. Talking about Mikan, it's there's something about her. She's just so. Like Jacob, Natora E from Samurai Warriors?
She's basically the same.
Hakukashi, I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my ass is showing. Like, I'll be real with you. Like, her ass was showing half the game. What moment killed me? Like, I felt embarrassed. I was playing this game on the train, right? And every moment that she was there, I had to skip. Because you get like these weird, awkward moments, like when she's carrying all the food, and then the food, like in a way, it just miraculously drops in a perfect position, like on her ass and shit. And I'm like, damn it, man, that's a bit.
I don't understand how that worked. I guess it was just part of her style. Like she just she got tied up in times too, and I don't know how.
It's weird, man.
How did she like?
She tripped.
I'm so speechless.
Yeah, she tripped, and like that's what happened.
That's just Danganronpa for
ya.
Yep.
And
yep. I love Mikan. She's great.
She's great, and she's clumsy, and she's like, oh, so kawaii, Although I don't like what she did, like, and the way she turns. I'm like, what the fuck, man? She's so deranged. That fucked me up.
Yeah,
but I mean,
The
before
spare disease was the most upsetting part of it. Like, she didn't even do it of her like own volition. She did it because like she recovered her memories as ultimate despair and ended up killing everyone.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like a cop out in a way to me. You know what I mean? It's not. She had no
I
real
really like
reason for
that
killing
part.
her. At least the other characters, they had reasons for killing. She didn't. Like, she just remembered that she was ultimate despair, and then she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna kill people."
Yeah, like that.
I actually
that's
really
why I
like
have
that
to say,
part.
like, chapter
I
3.
feel bad for saying
That's why I
that.
have to say chapter 3 was like my least favorite
But
of them.
but a true best girl, Chiaki. Hell yeah, Chiaki.
Good my man here. He knows what taste is like.
Yeah,
he has good
Chiaki,
taste.
There's something about Chiaki, you know, she's very sweet, she's very innocent. She's also a gamer, like, you know, yeah, hell yeah, man. But I wouldn't say the game really got me into Chiaki. It was more so the animation, but we'll talk about that another time.
I thought your favorite girl would be Monomi.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, you know, I love furries.
You know you wanted diaper
No, stop,
bunny.
stop. As soon as you said diaper, I was like, fuck no. Just stop right there.
Monami was adorable, but like she came off as annoying at times.
Well, she was, and
At times.
Like,
I guess that was
even-
kind of the
I
point.
kind of felt like I didn't feel bad for her at any one point. Like, you know, when Monokuma was like giving her a hard time, I was like, hell yeah, Monokuma, you continue to do that because you know what, Monomi, you're just fucking annoying. All right. One of the characters I really dislike, and I'm sorry, Jacob, I am really sorry because I know this is
Here
is best
goes.
boy for you. I forgot his name.
Is it Kazuichi?
The engineer guy. It's like he has such a hard on for Sonya, and I'm like, you know, dude, you can get someone else. Like, you don't need to get someone.
Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't like him too much. Like, his character just kind of feels a little forced. But
It is.
I like how he tries.
Yeah, he tries hard, but do you know who I hate even worse? Tanaka. Gunham. I hate him. And
Gundam?
and
You
his
hate Gundam?
and his hamsters. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Man.
What's wrong with
They
you?
piss me off.
Your
He
opinion
pisses
does
me off,
not
man.
matter.
He really pisses me off. I'm like, dude, just get out of here. I don't like your weird hamsters. Like,
He's gonna make you burn in the fires of pandemonium.
you know, I don't want to say anything, but I would imagine he could do something with those hamsters. But
Oh my god.
you know
I
that
hate
you know
you
that
so
scene in
much.
South Park with Mr. Slave.
No, I
That's what
don't.
I-
I don't want to think about it.
You know what?
No, like
I'm glad I don't
Watch
know
it,
about
Jake.
it.
I will send you the link. Best.
No.
I
hell
love his
no.
voice actor. If anything, like,
Gundam.
I just love the way he speaks. Yeah. My name is Gundam Tanaka.
You're saying his name is Gundam. His name is not Gundam. His name is Gunham or Gunham.
It's pronounced Gundam, like Gundham.
Well,
I heard that in the English voices.
well.
So I just kind of say Gundam.
Tanaka.
Gundam Wing. I also hated the Ultimate Imposter as well because I'm like, from the beginning I kind of knew it wasn't him. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't make sense.
Well, it's very interesting. Like, it's one of the game's ways of trying to confuse the player because they really wanted the Danganronpa 2. Like, does a lot of things to try and confuse players. Like, we have Byakuya and like him as the ultimate imposter. You have the fact that each killing is very similar to the killings in the Killing School Life. You have because how like the for example, the third case involved 2 killings. The fourth case was supposedly a suicide, and like it just kind of there are a lot of similarities between the Killing School Life and the Killing School Trip, and I feel like that was intentional so that you could draw like certain conclusions. Because like when you saw the runes for the first time, didn't you think like, oh, maybe Makoto and everyone are doing the Killing School Life in there? Like, I couldn't have been the only one who thought that.
I don't know. I just thought that maybe Byakuya, after he got out of the school, he was like just realizing how good food is when you're free. And then he kind of met Teru, and he was like obsessed with him, and then he got fat.
Well,
But also I really love how they chose Byakuya for that. They could have chosen anyone for that. They could have easily chosen Aoi for that.
Well, I mean, you also have to remember
they
that they decided to go with like the looks that they had before the Killing School trip started. Well, not the Killing School trip, before they entered the Hope's Peak Academy. So like, it was possible he was imitating like Byakuya to begin with, and because of that,
I know, but they could have easily changed that.
Right, but I don't know. Like, there's probably a reason that we don't know if they wanted to imitate Byakuya. Maybe because he wanted to feel like he was worth something, because the Ultimate Imposter was initially nothing. Like, he felt like he didn't really exist in the world, and so that's why he was the Ultimate Imposter, because he could just turn into anybody he wanted to.
Yeah.
But as I was saying before, like, the game, like, also with Nagito, with how like his name is an anagram for my Makoto Naegi Da, which translates to like, this is Makoto Naegi, if I recall correctly. Like, they want you to think, like, they want to draw you between different conclusions, and then you get to the end of the game, and then you realize like all of that was just the way of the game. It's just the game trying to fool you, and like that's what I find really interesting about the Killing School trip. But we're kind of getting a little off topic. We're kind of getting a little off topic now. I kind of want to get back to the characters, because I really do want to talk about my favorites. Like, I think, like, well, first of all, like, best girl's Chiaki, naturally. She's just a really well-written character. She has a huge role in the show. She's an observer alongside Monami. She helps a lot with the mysteries. Like, she's like the Kyoko of Danganronpa 2. Mm-hmm. Like, she's helping out the best way she can. She knows stuff. She knows a lot of stuff that.
But she's just more gentle.
Yeah, she's gentle. And,
gentle.
Like, there's no reason for her to die. It just hurt inside.
Sorry about it.
I coped with it in time. But I think my favorite character would have to be it was definitely Hajime. Like, I love, because he was very different from Makoto in the sense that like he had his own sort of like development as well. Like, Makoto had like development, like just kind of like developing from somebody who was just the ultimate lucky student to like the ultimate hope. But Hajime's development was a lot more serious. Like, he was trying to cope with the fact that he was just a reserve corps student, that he wasn't really an ultimate to begin with, and like around the end when he finds out that he was the test subject for the Zuru Kamakura project. Like, just seeing him like cope with all these emotions, and seeing him trying to manage while he also think about all this stuff, like, it felt very realistic to me. I overall, like, Hajime is just a well-written main protagonist, and like a really good character as well. Like, least favorite, it'd have to be Peko. Like, Peko Pekuyama.
No, I love her, man.
I don't know. I love Fuyuhiko. Kazuichi, I enjoy the fact that he just fails at everything.
I'll be honest with you, Peko is like a cliche. Like, she's kind of like Tsugumi within Nisekoi. Do you know what I mean? She's the Yakuza bodyguard, effectively. It's a trope, but.
Well, I mean, the game kind of turns tropes, like, kind of intentionally puts tropes in. To be fair.
But I don't see why you don't like her, though.
It's just, I didn't feel like she was a very well-developed character. Like, she was, like, the plot twist was that she was Fuyuhiko's bodyguard. So what?
Yeah, but she also loved him.
Different least favorite character.
Yeah, she also loved him, but like, it's just I just didn't.
Doesn't
like
that love mean anything to you, Joe? Are you that much of a monster?
I appreciate that relationship she had with Fuyuhiko, but like, I felt like she just wasn't a very strong character on her own. Like, I feel like I guess you couldn't really write too much to make her like a better character if you're gonna kill her off that early. So like, I guess like in a way you could blame it on the fact that she was killed off too early to get decent development. But like, in the end, I don't know. She didn't grow on me as much as like Fuyuhiko or Kazuichi or Sonya. Like, every other character grew on me. But I also have like the worst character. Not my least favorite, just the worst character.
Who's the worst character?
Hiyoko.
Yo.
Hell no.
Hiyoko was a mega bitch.
That's why, man.
So
I hated her. She was so rude to everyone. Like I get, like
Yeah, but
there were times
That's
that she
why
was
I
very
love
genuine with her
Yoko's hot.
feelings.
let's not deny that.
Hyoko's, oh my god,
hot,
you're a horrible
dude.
person.
Come on, man.
you're
It's
disgusting.
okay if she's hot.
She's a little
No,
girl.
I'm talking about when she's older. Come on. Jeez.
Yeah, she's pretty, but I wouldn't define
Although
her
she doesn't
hot.
wash, and that's disgusting. She's a dirty little bitch.
Because she doesn't know how to put her kimono on.
What the fuck,
That's the
man?
sad part.
Okay, though, you don't have to wear a fucking kimono all the time. Wear like jeans, man. What the fuck?
It's because she's the ultimate, what was it? She was like
The ultimate traditional
yeah, the ultimate
dancer.
traditional dancer.
The ultimate
Like, she-
fuck boy. What the fuck, man? This is
I'm sorry, I just didn't like how rude she was when she wasn't the one being like
yeah, but that's
the center of attention.
but that's the whole point. She's supposed to be a bitch.
yeah, that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Oh, true. Jacob, you kind of interjected into that. I want to know why. Defend yourself, bro.
What?
Defend yourself. Like you were saying, you were disagreeing with what Joe was saying.
Well, I love her because, well, I love her, but I like her. But I just love bitchy characters. They make the best material because they're like, so, bitchy on the outside.
It also feels really good when they die.
No, fuck you. No, it's like when you actually get to talk to them and meet them and stuff like that. They're actually like just, insecure about themselves or whatever.
I liked her like past. I liked her backstory. It's just the way she acted. It's just it made it hard for me to appreciate it more.
I don't know. I have a different least favorite
Yeah,
character.
who's your least favorite, Jacob?
My hero.
I can see why people don't like her. Like she's definitely like a character didn't like.
My
as
hero
much
is
as
such a
others
fucking
for
bitch.
whatever
She's not
reasons.
she's not like the kind of bitch that you would say you like because she's just a bitch. But she's like
very
she's
straightforward
like
is all.
she's like the kind of Lisa Simpson bitch.
Oh, the
that-
annoying kind of bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Because she can't even like come up with a proper insult or something. She's just like, "You're a man. You cannot do that." I'm like, "Fuck off, bitch. I can't do that."
you're mad.
She's an SJW.
Yeah, she is. She's that kind of dumb tumble. Yeah, bitch.
No, don't
who
say
thinks
this.
Men
We
are
have-
men
oh
are
my God.
lower. Well, then just cut it out.
I just want to bleep it so people don't know what you actually said.
Well, the only reason I would have liked her was because I knew she was friends with Hyoko, or because she was feeling bad about the Twilight Syndrome thing. But she dies. Who cares?
Wait, wow. Generic as well. Let's be real. Like she has the least character
Yeah,
design.
Like white. She's ugly.
Wow.
Sorry.
I can't believe you called a character ugly, man.
Oh my god.
No,
But she
she's not. Don't
is.
say that. We'll go-
I'm
All
so
characters
glad
are
she's
beautiful.
the photographer and not the actual model because
Oh,
she's the type of person
no.
who
That's
actually
too much.
belongs behind
No,
the camera and not in front of it.
That's you should be your own character, Jacob, in this game, so we can kill you off because this
know.
is too much.
Oh, fuck off!
Like Bish just kills him right in front of
My
everyone.
title is
He's
just
the killer.
ultimate bitch.
Oh my god.
No, but
Oh, I guess like from what I can tell, like as apparent as it is right now, like I think we can say for sure that we've talked a lot about all of these characters in length, and like what do you like, what do you dislike, and like how these all these characters relate to the show itself. It's not show, the game. It's the games themselves. And with that, I kind of want to bring it to like the final segment of our discussion, which would be the murders and the class trials. I wanted to know like what, because the murders were definitely the most the most serious part of the Danganronpa games. Like you don't know who died, you don't know who the killer was, and you find out who died and then you find out who the killer was, and it just hurts. So I wanted to know like what did the murders mean to you, and what I mean by that is like what did you sympathize with the killers or the victims? Did you, like, if so, who did you sympathize, or like who did you sympathize, which murders did you feel like the most impact from, which did you feel the least impact from?
I think that for once, I think the all of the murders in Danganronpa 2 were way more brutal than the ones in Danganronpa 1.
Right, naturally.
But also, I think for me, like the most disturbing one was actually Mikan's, because I think there was something about you know how Ibuki had that bag on her head that gave me the creeps, I won't lie. And when I saw that Hyoko just had like her throat slit, that was so
it's very
creepy to me. I don't know
sadistic,
why.
right?
It was
Yeah,
like
it is.
it was like so.
It's very ironic, really, considering that Hyoko really hated Mikan.
It was so weird because like at first I was like, was that because it was personal? Because Mika was like enjoying like getting back at Hyoko? Was it?
Well, I'm sure there was like a like an ulterior reason for it, but like I think like the main reason was because Hyoko walked into Mikan as she was trying to cover up the crime, and so like she had no choice but to kill Hyoko herself.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just think that the third murder with Mikan was the creepiest, but also because of you know how the setup and everything, like the little candle and the ladder, and you couldn't see who was the person under the bag. It was like when I saw that the first time, I was creeped the fuck out, because it was kind of like,
Yeah, there was like no sound. They were just going up to the ladder and they were just about to hang themselves, and before you see
because of the broadcast from the thing of that video chat thing that Kazuichi built. So it was like extra creepy because you actually kind of saw the murder, even though it wasn't really live, you know. But it was creepy enough to actually like witness it.
Mikan was just a sad occurrence. Like Mikan's situation was just sad.
But actually, when I saw how she changed in the class trial,
I she freaked out.
I thought that was no, I wasn't freaked out. I thought that was really fucking good. No, because she went from that, you know, from that crying face to that who cares face. You know, she's like, I just want it to be over,
I don't like
right?
That for me.
I love that. It was creepy, and she spoke in that
Yeah, but
weird
it kind of reminds me of
voice,
Junko, right? It's like, well, obviously.
No, it doesn't. It didn't really.
Well, yeah,
remind
because
me
she
of
was
Junko.
she was
Oh,
acting
yeah,
like
true.
ultimate despair, because she's like essentially a shadow of Junko.
But
as
it didn't
ultimate
really
despair.
hit me as Junko. It was like Mika was like someone else, but not like Junko or anything. Because Junko was like, at first she's like cheery, then she's like sad, and she's like in her secretary form, and Mika was just like, she went from silly and clumsy to who cares, like that, you know. So that
Well.
monotone voice was like creepy.
Wait, then what was your like? Which one did you Which one did you think was like the most? Well, I don't want to say interesting, but like the one that kind of like piques your
Like
interest the most.
the actual you mean the murderer or the victims?
Like what did you which one is the most impactful for you?
I really it sounds so weird, but I think that I sympathize most with Teruteru.
I can agree with that.
Not just because he wanted to save somebody, but because of his background with his family and his mother, and that was that actually tore me apart, you know, because like for once we actually see someone's family, and they're like the loved ones of somebody who just committed like a murder, like a brutal murder. He stabbed his victim like how many times into his stomach, and then you see like he's collapsing under that heavy weight of having killed somebody and thinking about his mom in the end. It was so sad.
It was very sad. Like it's like he didn't want to do anything bad. He just didn't have a choice. Like he didn't want to like kill everyone, but like he really needed to know what was happening at home.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the end, he kind of went crazy for it. So like in the end, he wasn't really a bad guy. Like he was desperate. And what about you, Bish? Like, what were your thoughts on like these murders, and who would you like sympathize the least, sympathize with the most? Like, which murder was most impactful, least impactful?
I think the most impactful for me was Sakura. Like, I really felt it for Sakura. Like, I honestly did. It got me. Like, it honestly did. Like, she didn't deserve... Like, I don't want to say, like, oh, this character deserved to die. Because there's sometimes I feel that character's a bitch. That character wants to die. I want that character to die. But Sakura, I don't think Sakura needed to die. I feel that Sakura was very misunderstood. I personally had an opinion about Sakura when I first met Sakura, you know. I didn't want to interact with Sakura as a character, but then obviously after the trial, I'm like, damn, I misjudged the character. And I kind of felt like a dick, do you know what I mean? So, even the fact that the game can make you feel bad about not spending free time with a particular character is just amazing. So, exactly. Like, I didn't even get to hear her story, and I just felt bad just from the fact that, you know, she died. I didn't get enough chance, and I kind of I don't know. Misjudged the character. I felt bad about it, and I think that's why I think her death was the most impactful for me. Not in the sense of how she died, but the fact that she did die. But in regards to the others' deaths, like, I think that's number one, and then after that would be Nagito. Because that shit was just slow clap. That was amazing. Do you know what I mean? Who the hell would have thought of that? It's difficult, right, for a normal person to fathom.
Well, because he put a lot of faith into his luck even after death. Like, that's the interesting part about it. Like, he wasn't something that he could pull off with, like, physical actions. Like, it was something he had to, like, rely on his talent to do. And that was what blew my mind the most. Like, it wasn't like he made it so that, well, he set it up so that, like, everyone would just kill him. Well, I mean, like, so everyone would just throw poison at him, but only one person would actually throw the canister with poison in it. And coincidentally, by luck, it was the traitor who threw it, and that's what hit hard. This hurt the most. Like, Chiaki could have just avoided it, but, like, because of Nagito's luck, like, she had no choice but to get it.
One thing I wanted to mention, because we talked about the you know, whose death impacted us the most. I want to talk about which execution was the best.
Oh, well, I was actually about to talk about that, but, like, before that, I want to just get my thoughts out of the way. I think I really, like, I agree with you. Nagito's was like intense. Like, Nagito's is probably one of my favorites out of, like, the entire series. Like, because just his methods, his thinking, his intention, it was all planned, and it was a huge gamble, but it worked out, unfortunately. Well, I mean, it didn't really work out because, like, his intent was to kill everyone except for the traitor, but he ended up killing the traitor because they were supposed to guess they were supposed to say that it was a suicide, so they could guess incorrectly. Like, it wasn't exactly his intent for his ultimate luck to like just kill the traitor. Like, the idea was that they weren't supposed to know, like, who killed him.
That brings up a good question. Is he truly the ultimate, has the ultimate luck? I don't think so, because it didn't turn out the way he wanted it.
But how do you know if it's not actually the thing? Even though they talked about that in a game, maybe he clinged on to hope, because, you know, he did actually say, like, even though he would have to cling to despair to bring out new hope. I think that actually he really thought of getting Chiaki to kill him. So maybe his luck actually played out. I mean, also because, like, luck doesn't really influence intelligence. So if he really failed, then it wasn't just, well, you know, I guess people weren't dumb enough to realize that. I don't know. I'm actually fucked up. Oh God. Cut that out, please.
No, I'm gonna put that in there. It's gonna be in the bloopers.
Well, if said my most favorite, well, my most favorite is definitely Nagito's execution. Coincidentally, a lot of our favorites are from Danganronpa 2. Just shows how well written it is.
It got a lot more sales, higher reviews, and everything compared to the first.
It's because it just adds so much.
10 out of 10.
That's what makes it, like, the best.
I think it was 8 out of 10 or something. I can't remember.
My least favorite is definitely just Celeste's. Like, it just wasn't good at all.
I think my favorite punishment actually was Pekko's.
Really? What was Pekko's punishment?
Well, she had to fight like a dozen of samurai monokumas.
Yeah, you know which one was my favorite? Leon's. It was so. I don't know. It's just balls. You know, it's just balls firing.
I hate.
I don't
you
mean
so
it like
much.
that. Like, imagine the pain. That's at least Peko got an honorable, death. She died on the battle.
Because I actually liked Peko's. Well, I didn't like it, but I think it was like it made the most impact on me because Fuyuhiko actually went in and lost his eye because of that. But it was like he wanted to stay with her until the end.
And that was Peko's execution. Like that was painful. Like I it was very. I liked how Fuyuhiko just went in and tried to like save her in his own way, but in the end, like he just got insanely injured, and like, I mean that brought his. Granted that brought us to his like development later on. He became such an awesome person.
Exactly. I think my least favorite punishment was probably Mikan's.
What was Mikan's punishment?
I think she was just like she set I think on a rocket, and she was just cast into space. That was so lazy. That was so disappointing.
Yeah, the reason why I think Leon's execution was kind of my favorite was because I kind of felt it. Like, do you know what I mean? Because they were pointing everywhere. Like, imagine being hit with a bunch of baseballs. You know how heavy a baseball is? Imagine getting hit with a baseball at such a high speed. That would crush your bones. And imagine that he...
I mean, it's definitely like the very first murder of the series, so like it was definitely like top notch for first murder. Or first execution.
You just want balls all over your body. Fucking pervert.
But the thing is, yeah, imagine they would crush his balls. Realistically. One impact from a baseball, that would explode it. Like, it's crazy.
Not if he like managed to actually hide his balls between his legs.
He was tied to a post, I think. So that's very, very difficult.
Well, still, maybe he like...
No, we're not going to talk about how he probably protected his balls or not, okay? It would have hurt, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, like either way, his balls have just been split.
I wasn't a fan of Junko's. I wasn't. It was. I understand it was supposed to be the final execution of the game and the lead up towards it and the whole, twist behind it. But it just felt like, I didn't necessarily want Junko to die. Like, maybe that might be why I wasn't a fan of it. I wanted to see Makoto dying. But that's just... I don't know. I would have imagined what would have happened if he died. How would the game progress? Because I always like it when games kill off the playable character.
So you wanted like a bad ending?
Never got the bad ending.
No, I'm saying the bad ending is basically for Danganronpa 1. It's basically Kyoko gets killed instead of Makoto, and like the end, like Byakuya, Makoto, like Aoi and Toko end up having children.
Toko dies. If you get the bad ending, Toko's dead because Byakuya holds a picture of her with like those ribbons.
Oh right.
And I think the producer said that she just went poof. She just exploded or something like that. He said that she would die that way because someone actually asked him, and he was like, she just went poof and died that way.
The question I have is that how did they have children? Were they still inside the school? That doesn't make sense.
Bitch, they were fucking Aoi.
It don't make sense.
What else did you think?
Whoa. Who did she have kids with?
All of them.
What do you mean all of them? What the hell?
Yasuhiro, Makoto, Byakuya.
No,
yes.
I need to see a screenshot of this.
Yes.
I need to see a screenshot of this.
I'm so disappointed. You never got the bad ending.
Never did.
I got it the first time because I just betrayed Kyoko.
Well, I'll search it later. What if you're lying to me and this is a Rule 34 thing, and then...
The execution I liked the most was, that's a good... Actually, now I think about it, that's a good question. I never really thought of that.
Your favorite or your least favorite?
Like, my favorite one was, definitely had to be... I have to say Chiaki. Okay. Like, just like I guess it's just the aesthetics. Like I just like.
You like to see her die.
No, that's not it.
No, I get you though.
No, I cut that out. That's not really true. It's I really, I have to say like, Peko's was my favorite execution, just because of the. Well, that. Well, I don't want to wish her dead though. I just didn't like her character.
God damn it, Joe.
Like I just liked how Fuyuhiko like tried to run in and like interrupt it.
So we have that in common,
right? I just liked his like the noble sacrifice he was trying to make, even though like it was all in vain. And like he ended up becoming one of the best characters in the game, which felt really good. Just him like being a lot more cooperative and a lot kinder. My least favorite, Mikan's. Like I have to say I didn't. It just felt very. It like it didn't fit her. Like sure, like it had like her, like it involved like her ultimate nurse capabilities, but in the end, it was just her blasting into space. Like nothing special.
You didn't actually see her die.
Yeah, you didn't see her die either. She just went there.
However,
and
I
she was gone.
do think that for Junko's, I think that she should have at least have something added to it at the end and not just crush her. I think there should have been something.
Something, yeah. Like
Just to see that she's actually dead. It's not my favorite, it's not my least favorite, it's just... It felt kind of lazy too.
yeah. Well, there's probably another meaning to it, but I never really looked into it, so I'm not really sure. So I get like there's a lot more that I really want to talk about with like just Danganronpa 1 and 2. Like so many things that like I just want to like gush about, but unfortunately to contain myself and end our discussion here. You overall, did you guys enjoy your experiences with those two games? Like, did you not like the games? Did you enjoy them?
Yeah, I would say I preferred 2 more than 1. Going back to play 1 felt like a chore, but that's just me. But I really did enjoy Danganronpa 2. I think it was just a roller coaster of emotions and character development. It was just on par. 10 out of 10 IGN.
Right. How about you, Jacob?
I love the series. I really do hope that it's... I don't want to see it end, you know?
You kind of feel like it will end someday, though.
I know.
Well, I mean, it'll probably end with a bang.
Like go poof like Toko.
Oh,
That's genius.
that was a good line. I do not need to answer this question because I think you guys know the answer by now.
You hated it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, this series sucks.
It ruined my life.
This?
I want to end the episode just to wrap this up. Big thanks to Crunchyroll and of course Loot Crate. You can go and check them out. I pop the links in the description. You can check me out at Get a Life Podcast on Twitter.
You can check me out on Twitter as Kibo Gamer. That's spelled KIBOUGAMER. Surprising to no one, it means Hope Gamer.
You can check my Twitter. It's at Uvarahroa. That's obviously like this is spelled the same as it's pronounced. It's at VAJAO. No, sorry, I fucked it up. Can you cut that out? At VAJAROIS.
One thing is that there was supposed to be a special giveaway for this episode, and that you guys don't know about. Although we are already doing the Crunchyroll giveaway, so we're not going to do that giveaway. Instead, we have a special surprise for my man Joe, being the ultimate Danganronpa fan. Joe, I think you know what's coming, Joe. Find out what it is on the next episode. So, Joe, you're going to receive something very special. Exclusive Danganronpa merch. No one else has this. And it's not official merch, but no one else has this. Handmade item. Danganronpa. Monokuma stuff. But I can't say what it is. No one knows what it is, Joe. You might know what it is, but we'll find out on the next Danganronpa episode where we talk about another episode.
It's gonna be a Monokuma dating sim.
Don't listen to what Jacob's saying.
Joe, we're gonna turn it into a furry.
Stop with your furries.
So, anyway, the next episode is as part of Get a Life Podcast Danganronpa series will be our Danganronpa another episode, Ultra Despair Girls discussion. That's going to be a separate episode. That's going to be the 3rd episode. And finally, we're going to be ending it with Danganronpa V3.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, expect our Danganronpa V3 episode to come out a couple of months after the game, only because we don't want to spoil the game for people.
Hope you guys enjoyed too. Hope you guys have a hopeful, wonderful day.
That's it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Talk to you guys later. GG.
Bye.
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 Okay. Hell yeah. I'm eating, so I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can't hear you.
So
Okay,
that's how good this microphone is.
Okay, Monokuma's a furry. I don't listen to furries.
Like,
Jake,
why?
you need to shut the fuck up about furries, alright? That's all we've been talking about.
Yeah,
But you know who else was kind of a pervert?
you.